Hi everyone. Okay, so let's have some fun today. Um, Recently, I reviewed the K-Bar original USMC knife with this Creighton handle plastic sheet on the channel. And I promised you that I will bring in other knives into the channel, which are kind of inspired by that knife. And I guess you already know the answer that it's gonna be again one of the answers for me. It's gonna be Extrema Ratio because they created their own version of the famous USMC K-bar knife, which is again, I chose this version because I find it's a bit more durable for everyday use versus the original one. I would hate to use that beautiful leather. Honestly, I love it so much. Of course, I have it, but that's more of a collector's piece. This is something what I actually used already in campings and things like that. 1095 steel, really cool. I mean, no problems with it. But I don't want to talk about this knife again. Let's talk about another one, which is again inspired by the legend. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-dam. So this is the Ratio translation or interpretation of the fighting legend, and the original USMC knife is called as USMC Mark II. So this is the fighting knife Mark II, what K-Bar and Associates designed, and this is called Mark 2.1. So this is the Extrema Ratio Mark 2.1, designed in Italy. And honestly, I just need to make a spoiler here. They made an amazing job. So let's just get the box out of the way. You get the usual packaging: leg strap, silica gel, whatever. And this is the shade it comes with. The shade is really similar to the one what you get with the coil machine. Basically the same design. This is where you can put the leg strap, mole webbing. Here you have the removable flap top, and you have this kind of nice click here. So it's like clicks one way. So that's a protection for your knife. Then there is another set of clicks here, which is an extra strap. And then again, okay, how to remove the knife. So this is my continuous point. You need to be able to use your knife on a safe way. If it's dangerous for you, or if you have a fear, you shouldn't use it, or you should be really careful. You should learn how to use it. So I'm trying to teach you here, guys. So you unbuckle every single strap and everything, and then what you should do is that this is secured in reality here in this piece. So what you need to do is that you push your pointing finger here a bit, and then at the same time, you push with your thumb here this way, and the knife gets removed. Okay, so it's not like uh, pulling it out with brute force or things like that. I mean, I have seen crazy things on YouTube, how people try to take this knife out of their sheath. They had no idea about it. One more thing about the sheet, that it has, again, so this is the retention point I was talking about. So this is how your pointing finger just goes in between the knife and between this plastic. You just push in your pointing finger, and then with your thumb you push this part too, and this way the knife will release itself. Basically, you can do other tricks as well. If you have this on your leg with the leg strap, you can just move the handle this way, so kind of like outwards from your body, and then pull it out. That's an option too. It's a bit more risky, so I'm usually doing the thumb and pointing finger trick. It's perfectly safe. You're not going to cut yourself. You're not going to hurt yourself, etc. Again, when I'm looking at YouTube videos about this knife, I'm always kind of like worried that I need to call the ambulance. So I really wanted to kind of show it to you how to do it. And this is the knife itself. One of the weak points of the old USMC is definitely the steel. It's 1095 carbon. It's not the most modern steel. Obviously, it can be used, but it's not the most modern. It's not rust resistant. It has its own issues. So guess what Extrema Ratio did? They started using N690, which is their favorite and most known stainless steels. It has good durability, it has good edge retention, so this is definitely an upgrade. So that's why this is Mark 2.1. They made the handle guard a bit thicker and a bit bigger as well. So it protects your hand a bit better. Again, Mark 2.1. The knife, it's a bit heavier, but not so much heavier. At least I don't feel it in my hand so much heavier. So it's really nimble. It stayed nimble. And the design is really cool. As you can see, really similar design. They have this fuller groove here, Mark 2.1 um, um, branding here. The Extrema Ratio branding again, it's finally not so huge, but it looks nice on this blade. They kept some of the original shape. I like it, so it's really resembling to the original knife. And then the handle is this kind of a barrel shaped, really interesting handle. My only problem with it is that I don't know the orientation. So it's the same feeling if I keep it this way and this way. For me, there are no real differences between like how I keep it. I think it's a problem. But the good news is that when you pull this out, you will have it in your hand this way. And honestly, it's really safe. Um, Grab. So due to these grooves here, this is not going to rotate in your hands. It has the butt cap, it's screwed on, so you can screw it off, and then basically you can just strip the handle and everything. It's 6 millimeters thick, so the spine is 6 millimeters thick, and here comes through a 6 millimeters thick handle all the way to the butt cap. So this is a really full tang knife with a much more reinforced style. And this doesn't have the 90 degrees a transition um, under the handle guard. It's rounded off a bit, and this way it's less prone to break. So they again try to modify the original design as much as possible to make it more durable. So again, they made changes in the blade steel, in the blade shape a bit, but I think that that's just for like fun purposes. And then they made the blade stock thicker, and also the handle transition, they made it smoother. So basically that's why they call it as a 2.1. Let's compare it to the original piece, or not super original, but you know, the one what I'm using and I like. So this is how you can see both knives next to each other. And as you can see, they are really similar. There are differences, small differences in the size, but okay, let's just try this trick. So I'm just putting it here, and then I'm lining it up here as well. So the size is the same actually. Um, Again, from a dimensions perspective, it's really cool. The blade length, everything is the same. You can see the differences here. So different handle, again, with these grooves. This has a more of an oval shape, though, so the orientation problem, you cannot really have the orientation problem on the USMC. Much thicker handle guards compared to the original one, obviously different blade steel. And you have this fuller here, which is placed to the top of the blade here. I have heard legends about it, like, you know, oh my God, if you push this into an animal or something like that, that creates a suction, and then this fuller is needed to be able to remove the blade. That's bullshit. This is only to make the blade lighter. So they are doing this to make the blade lighter. If you push this into an animal, it's not going to stuck there, unless you got stuck in a boat or a bone or something like that. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. You don't have a vacuum inside your body. So this is how it looks like. And sorry, I'm just angry about these uneducated examples of the knife world and uneducated facts, I would say, of the knife world. Then if you think about it, they are just nonsense. So let me just resheet the USMC. This is something which is really, really important about safe knife handling, is that you need to either resheet your knife when you are not using it, or you need to close it if it's a folder. You can never know who is around. You can never know who picks it up. A children picks it up, etc. So it can run into a disaster. So that's why I'm always telling you, you need to learn how to sheet and resheet and unsheet your knife. Otherwise, you can get into trouble. And also, if you sheet it, you know where you keep it. So that's a good one. If you sheet it, you know where you keep it. So let's just memorize this. But again, for safe use, this is definitely a safe use knife. It's a really robust one. It's more robust than the original. The quality is the usual amazing quality from Extrema Ratio. I don't have honestly anything else to tell here. From a fighting perspective, I can see this as a usable one. It protects your hands. It has a good length. It's still in that weight range, which makes it really, really usable. And also it has a nice pommel for striking. The other thing is that we have tricks like, when you stab with the knife and your hand is blocked, if this is happening in front of your body, you can kick this part into the opponent's body. So basically that way you are kind of like moving it into the opponent's body, or like kind of like pushes it with the other hand. And because this doesn't have a glass breaker or anything, it makes it easy. So it's like you can use it as a push surface, or you can use it as a kick surface in a knife fight. If you have ever practiced knife fighting, then you know what I'm talking about. If you're not, then most probably you are just wondering what the hell am I talking about. But this is a knife itself. I keep it a bit oiled. I'm not sure why. It's kind of like I always clean my knives. And it has some oil residue, but again, this is a stainless steel, so you shouldn't be worried about issues here about staining or things like the rust. This is just my kind of like personal thing that I like to keep my knives clean. So basically that's it from keybar slash Extrema Ratio perspective. I know that this video became a bit longer than it's usual, but I really wanted to teach a couple of things for you. And again, when you are finished, you are just resheeting it, no magic, just put it in until it clicks, and then you can just put back the straps, click, click, and then put the flap on. If you want to remove this knife easier, obviously you can remove the flap. This is a Velcro part here, so you can take out that snap too, and then you will have a single retention system, which is just this one. And again, be careful with those knives and those sheets which are kind of having retention here around the guard, because it's easy to cut yourself, but if you learn it how to do it, then it's perfectly safe. So with that, again, thank you very much. I know that this was long, but I hope that it worth your time. Share your thoughts in the channel, in the thread below. Subscribe, like, whatever, and see you next time. And bye for now.